Hi there, my name is Trinity, and today we are going to be wrapping up the books I read in June. For the month of June, I read a total of 8 books, which is a lot less than average. On average, I would say I read like 11 to 12 books. This month was weird. I just didn't want to pick up any books. I really didn't. I was like, I could live my life without it. I genuinely feel like maybe I'm not liking books anymore. That's so dramatic, but it's not a lie. No, it's really dramatic. Just kidding. Anyway, so this month was kind of off. I would say, let's just wrap up the ones I read. June started off awful. Terrible note. I read The Guest List by Lucy Foley. I don't know if you know this, but I don't like thrillers. That is something I've come to realize about myself. For the month of June, I did actually have my boyfriend pick my TBR. So a lot of these are ones that he picked. I did, however, go off course quite a bit. But anyway, the first book I read was The Guest List by Lucy Foley. I rated this book a 2.5 out of 5 stars. The whole plot about this book is that it is set at a wedding. We are following, I think, 5 different characters. We have the bride, the plus one, the best man, the wedding planner, and the bridesmaid. We keep getting little snippets of the night after they've been married and somebody is dead. And for the entirety of the book, we don't know who's dead. We don't know why they're dead. We don't know who killed them. We don't really know what's happening. However, all 5 characters we were following, I hated. I hated every single one of them. This was so awful to read, and I genuinely think I should have just DNF'd it because I feel like this put me in a slump, like a really bad one, like a really just slump. It also just didn't hold my attention. The story wasn't interesting enough. We kept getting little backgrounds on a lot of different characters, and I just didn't care. Really, I didn't. Yeah, so 2.5 out of 5 stars. I probably should have DNF'd this book. Not good. The next book I read was The Happy Ever After Playlist by Abby Jimenez, which I rated a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I loved this book. I devoured this book. This was such a happy surprise. This is the second book in, I think, the Friend Zone little trilogy that she has. The first book in this series, The Friend Zone, I think I rated a 1 star. I hated it. The first one I absolutely hated. It was our protagonist. I forget her name. Hated her. Anyway, in this book, we are following Salome, the main character's best friend from the Friend Zone. In this book, we are following Salome, who has recently been widowed by some unfortunate circumstances that happened in the first book. She happens to be, I think, driving one day, and then all of a sudden, this random dog is in the middle of the street. She's like, okay, hey, get in my car. Like, I'll take you to the vet, see if you need help or whatever. And the dog jumps through her sunroof and just like is there. And now she's like, what the hell? Why is this dog jumping through my sunroof? What the heck? She finds the caller and she's texting and she's calling this person, trying to get a hold of them. Nobody's answering. So she's like, you know what? Screw you, dude. You're not answering. I did all this work. I've been paying for this dog. This is my dog now, is basically what Salome does. She gets very attached to this dog. And then we find out that it is Jason, who is kind of like an up and coming artist. He's just getting really famous. He was on tour and he couldn't answer his phone, that sort of thing. They start texting, they start talking, they have a very immediate connection. And then when he comes back to get his dog, he takes her on a date and they just start coming together. I don't know why this book was so emotional and why I felt so connected to these characters. It sounds like a silly little story. The characters and the way Abby Jimenez wrote them just made me feel for them so much and feel for this situation and made me feel like, yeah, they spend a weekend together. They need to spend their entire lives together. The next book I read on my Kobo. It is The Summer of Broken Rules by K.L. Walther. This is a young adult romance novel following a young girl named Meredith who has just recently lost her sister in a terrible accident, and she is going to Martha's Vineyard with her entire family because her cousin is getting married. So we have 2 different families, and basically in order to kind of create some like bonding experience, they pin everybody against each other and they play assassin, which basically means everybody has like a water gun, a water balloon, however be it. You're gonna pick a name and then you've got to like assassinate that person. She meets the groomsman Whit, who is the younger stepbrother of the groom, and he is just a sweetheart. They have a connection. They make this little deal. This book is just perfect for summer. I rated it a 4 out of 5 stars. You have so much like water balloon action. You get a little bit of grief, a little bit of romance, very young adult. So do keep that in mind. No spice, nothing like that. I absolutely love this book. I remember giggling and smiling and being like, yeah. It was action-packed. It was a fun book and I really loved it. 4 to 5 stars, highly recommend it. The next book I read was The Sun and the Star by Rick Riordan and Mark Oshiro. This is a Percy Jackson novel following Nico D'Angelo, who I don't know if you know who that is, but if you know Percy Jackson, he's my favorite character out of everyone. This book, we are following Nico and his boyfriend Will as they go on a trip to Tartarus, which if you don't know what that is, it's like the underworld, but even worse. And he's going on this quest to save somebody that they left behind in a previous book. Unfortunately, with me, I missed a few books in this series. I think it was like The Trials of Apollo is what it was. I read the first one of that and then I didn't read any of those kind of ones in the middle. And boy, oh boy, did I learn very quickly that that was a giant mistake. And now I've got a huge giant spoiler and I don't know how it happened. I just thought the plot in this book was very slow. It took a lot to get into this book and it was very, very slow. To me, I thought the mission was pretty straightforward. Do these things, get this thing done, but it was just dragging on for me and it took so long. I, however, think the characters are still amazing. I still love Nico. I still love Will. I love all the little side characters we get to meet along the way. All of that I absolutely adored. I love these people. I love these characters. They live on inside of my soul. And I did appreciate the fact that I felt like after the Percy Jackson series, I get some closure with some of these characters because we still had a lot of trauma and stuff that Will was working through. So I really appreciated the fact that we kind of got his closure to that and him like coming into himself and accepting himself. Absolutely loved that. And there was a certain message that was coming through with this book. I'm not going to tell you because if you want to read it, it's a big spoiler. But as soon as you understand what the message is of this book, it's like bam, in your face, hitting it with you the whole time. And I think that was another reason I didn't like it that much. I did, however, rate this a 3.5 out of 5 stars. It's fun. It's a good time. It just wasn't really for me. And then after reading that, I was like, you know what? We need some spice. So I picked up Twisted Love by Ana Huang. It is the first book in the Twisted series. We are following Ava and Alex, both of which have very strong childhood traumas. Ava's older brother is moving away, so Alex, his best friend, decides he's like, you know what? I'm gonna move in because your brother asked me to keep his eye on you, and I'm gonna take it the extra mile and really keep my eye on you. I'm gonna take such good eye care of you. Does that make any sense? However, they both have this very deep connection with each other. Alex is very dark and brooding, whereas Ava is very sunshine and loving, looks in the positive of life. So we have a Grumpy and Sunshine romance, forced proximity, brother's best friend, all of the good stuff. It's a little darker than I would usually go for. I say that as like, look at the cover, that looks so fluffy and fun. It is. This was honestly just so fun and entertaining to read. I wouldn't say it's like a masterpiece of a novel or anything, at least to me. Go in with your rose-colored lenses. It's such a fun, silly, goofy little time. You need to kind of expand your belief of reality and just be like, yeah, that's happening. I rated Twisted Love by Ana Huang a 3 stars. A fun, silly, goofy little time, and I will be continuing the rest of the series hopefully in July. And then my soul literally left my body and was put in between the pages and I fell in love. So I read, even just holding this book makes me giddy. I read Reckless by Elsie Silver, and I'm just gonna right away say, I originally rated it 4.75 stars out of 5, but I'm changing that to a 5 out of 5 stars. This book is amazing. Oh my God, if you don't know what this book is, it is the 4th book in the Chestnut Spring series by Elsie Silver, my Canadian Calgary queen. Love you. Oh my God, I love you. We are following Theo, who's a bull rider that we meet in previous novels, and then we also have Winter, who is a nurse. The two spend an evening together and some things happen. And yeah, basically Winter is left to raise a child on her own. She has every belief that Theo does not want anything to do with her or this baby, and she's like, you know what? I'm gonna girl boss this and be a single mom. I'm actually so in love with this book. The characters, Theo is everything I want and more in a book boyfriend, a book husband, a book daddy, as you may say. I missed feeling like this. I felt like with all of the other books I read this month, I just had this feeling of missing, like loving what I was reading. I love Elsie Silver and I love her writing, and this really just like made me fall in love again. I just couldn't even. I love this series. I have a feeling it's gonna be like one of my favorite series this month, probably my favorite series ever. that's a little dramatic. The characters had like a real progression in their love, and I just adore the way Elsie Silver writes her characters and how we get snippets from other characters in the rest of the series. If you've never heard about this series, go read it. This is the 4th one. Start with Flawless by Elsie Silver. These books are so good. The 5th one comes out, I think, later on this year, and I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna have to reread this whole thing. I love this series. Reckless by Elsie Silver, a 5 out of 5, obviously. 2 more books. And then after finishing Reckless, I was in the biggest book hangover of my life, I feel like. So I decided to pick up something light, fluff, funny. I picked up The Love Wager by Lynn Painter. This is her new release. We are following Hailey Piper wants to get her life together after having a one-night stand with a young gentleman named Jack. In the process of getting her life together, she signs up for a dating app, and whilst on the dating app, she finds Jack again, the man she just had a one-night stand with. They start talking. They both kind of mutually agree. They're like, yeah, I don't really want to date you, but I would love to have a love wager with you, and whoever finds love first gets a prize. So they start going on dates and then meeting up to get tacos after, which I thought was really cute. And through this, they become friends. I think the thing that really threw me off about this book is it's told in 3rd person, and I had just come from reading so many 1st person novels that 3rd person was like a smack in the face of what the heck is happening, and it took me so long to get into this book and to connect to the characters. I find I have a very hard time connecting to characters if it's told in the 3rd person, but the way Lynn Painter writes, it's just so funny, it's just so unique. This is a new adult novel, so do not be expecting anything pure and simple. This definitely has a little bit of a spice element. I'd probably rate it like a 1 out of 5 on the spice scale, but I rated this book 3 out of 5 stars. I did very much enjoy myself. I don't have a lot of strong feelings about this book. I think it was fun, it was cute, and yeah, I would definitely recommend it though. It's pretty fun. Okay, and our last and final book we are going to talk about today is something that threw me for a loop. Let me just tell you, I was looking for a cute summer beachy little read to read at the beach with my friend, and I picked up Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams, her new book. It is the 2nd in her When in Rome series. Tell me why this book is a 5 out of 5 stars. I had not been hearing the best things about this book. I've been hearing like a lot of less than favorable things about it, which I kind of see where these people are coming from. But no, I love this book. 5 out of 5 stars. Let me just say, we are following Annie and Will. Annie is the main character from the other's book, younger sister. She's the youngest of all her sisters, and she lives in a small town and she runs a flower shop. And then we have Will, who is a professional bodyguard, and it's kind of like a good girl, bad boy romance. She is looking for a dating coach because she wants to get into her life. She feels like something is missing, and she thinks marriage will fix that. A little risky, but okay. So she enlists the help of Will, who she already has such a big goofy crush on. This book makes me so I don't know what it was about this book, but like I could tell from reading the dedication that I was gonna love it. I just knew right away. I was like, oh, 5 stars. I fell in love with Annie. I fell in love with Will. I fell in love with their friendship and the way they communicated with each other and the way they wanted each other, but they both knew that everybody wanted something different. And oh my god, it is a small town, closed door romance, so do not be worrying about spice. I love this book. I also just thought it was so funny. I didn't realize how funny these characters were. Their banter towards each other and the way they communicate with everybody. Also all the side characters coming in, making everything so funny. You know what? I don't need to say anything else. I loved Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams, and I will forever give it a 5 stars. What a great, silly, goofy little book. 5 out of 5. That is all the books I need to talk about today. I only read 8 in June, which is kind of not a lot for me, I would say. Hopefully July's a little better. Hopefully I read some more books that I like. I really only had 2 5 stars. Everything else was like a meh or a little less than meh. So hopefully July is better. Alrighty, well that's all I have for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope you go out there, you give lots of love, lots of kisses. Leave a like, leave a subscribe. Have a wonderful day, and I will hopefully see you guys in the next one. Bye!